For number 5, it says to solve. So to get rid of the 2, we're going to square root both sides. This cancels out the exponent. So we have x minus 3 equals, and the square root of 100 is 10. But you do have to put plus or minus in the front of that 10. Then we add 3 to the other side. And this gives us 3 plus 10 and 3 minus 10. So 3 plus 10 is 13, and 3 minus 10 is negative 7. So we have two solutions here, 13 and negative 7. For number 6, it says to factor and solve, but you can see we do not have this in standard form. So I need to move this 2 right there. And if I move it on the other side, I have to add it. So my new equation is 4x squared plus 9x plus 2. And then if I add the 2 over, it makes this become a 0. So this particular problem is an x factor with bottoms up. So to do this, I have to go 4 times 2 is 8. And I have to get to 9. So the factors of 8 are 1 times 8 and 2 times 4. Which one can make 9? Well, 1 and 8 can. So I write it in factored form. But because it's bottoms up, I have to divide by that 4. And I see that I cannot divide, so I bring the bottom up. Here I can divide, and so I get x plus 2. So at this point, I have factored it, but I have to solve it. So I would say 4x plus 1 equals 0. And x plus 2 equals 0. And I would solve this one by subtracting 1. I get 4x equals negative 1. And then I divide by 4. So my solution is negative 1/4 here. And then I have to subtract 2. And 0 minus 2 is negative 2. For number 7, use the equation y equals 2x squared plus 8x plus 1. We have to find the vertex, find the axis of symmetry, obviously graph it, and then also state if it's a max or a min. So this particular step we will do last. To find the vertex, we want to label this A, B, and C. Alright, so the first step is you're going to need to know this equation, x equals negative b over 2a. And then you're going to plug in your numbers here into this. So negative b would be 8. So negative 8. And then 2 times a, and a is 2. So we have negative 8 over 4, and that divides to be negative 2. So you know two answers here. You know, one, that the vertex, the x is negative 2. We still got to find the y. Secondly, the axis of symmetry is whatever the x value is here. So the x value is x equals negative 2. So step 2, to find the y, is you plug this number into all the x's up here. So you would have y equals 2, and then parentheses because you're multiplying negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 plus 1. So I would calculate the negative 2 squared first, And negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Okay, so this gets replaced with 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. And then you bring down your 1. So I'm going to add and subtract from left to right. So 8 minus 16 is negative 8 plus 1. Again, one's negative, one's positive, so you're going to have to subtract. And we get negative 7. Okay, so at this point, you can graph the negative 2, negative 7. So negative 2, and then negative 7. But to get the U shape, you have to take your 135 and multiply it by the A value. Okay? The A value was 2. We have that right here in the equation. So if I multiply by 2, our new pattern is 2, 6, 10. And we treat it like a slope. So we're going to be going up 2 and then right 1 from the vertex. And then also up 2, left 1, because you want a symmetric pattern. And then I'm going to go up 6 over 1. And there's left 1 as well. And then I would go up 10 if I could and go off, well, this one's going to go off the graph a little bit. And then draw your U shape. But you don't want to go, or keep going and forget to go back to A and answer. Does this have a maximum or a minimum? Okay, well, if you look for the vertex is the lowest point. So low point. And so that makes this a minimum.